investigation is underway into the cause of yesterday's brush fires near Twin City Crossroads. Good evening and thank you for joining us. It was the talk of the city late yesterday afternoon. Water bombers flew from Lake Superior to fight multiple grass and brush fires along the CPKC rail line.
More details are now being provided by the MNR and Thunder Bay Fire Rescue. Jaden Billick joins us in studio. Jaden, what is the update on those fires?
Thanks, Ryan. The fires spanned a 5-kilometer stretch of the rail line, with one small blaze near the Thunder Bay Airport and the larger ones near Twin City Crossroad. A total of 7 hectares was burned, but fortunately no one was hurt, and the fires were all brought under control by yesterday evening. At approximately 3 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, Thunder Bay Fire Rescue received multiple reports of grass and brush fires along the CPKC rail tracks extending southwest of the Thunder Bay Airport to beyond the Twin Cities Crossroads. The blazes burned 5 to 7 hectares of brush, forced highway closures, and caused plenty of smoke. Deputy Fire Chief Dave Torini provided an update on the situation.
The fires are currently under control. Large sections of the fire are already either contained or have been declared out. The fire was actually a series of smaller fires that were along the tracks that were all considered to be one fire for reporting and recording purposes, but it was a lot of smaller sections of the fire along the tracks.
Thunder Bay Fire Rescue crews received mutual aid partners from the Oliver Papoonge Fire Department and the MNR to swiftly extinguish the fires, prioritizing the protection of residential properties. Numerous resources were used to take aggressive action on the flames, including this water bomber caught on camera near the Thunder City Speedway. The Wednesday night dirt track races were postponed for one day due to the fires. Torini says it was a great team effort.
It was a challenging situation, but our crews handled it extremely well. It was a very good effort from the responding pumper crews. When the fires are spread out over such a large geographical area, it presents a lot of challenges. It presents a difficulty for our dispatch, who are receiving multiple calls about a variety of different locations.
There's been speculation the fires were started by sparks from a train on the CPKC track, but that hasn't been confirmed. Torini says the fires are currently under investigation by the MNR, and the city of Thunder Bay is not under any fire bans at this time. Jaden Billick, TBT News.
For the second time in 6 months, Canada Post operations here in Thunder Bay and across Canada could be halted again tomorrow due to a strike or a lockout. The latest negotiations between the Canadian Union of Postal Workers and Canada Post have failed to strike a deal, and the local union head says they're preparing to head to the picket line again. Cup W Local 620 President Leo Favreau says morale is low for his 200-plus members as they wait to hear official word on a potential second walkout. The last strike began on November 15th and ended 4 weeks later. The Canada Industrial Relations Board ordered the posties back to work on December 17th, hoping that a deal would be eventually hammered out. Favreau says they continue to fight for job security, livable wages, and better health and safety, and he's hoping for a better outcome this time around.
I'm hoping that we can, I think we're down to 11:59. This is, the last minutes, and I'm really hoping that negotiations will work, because none of us really want to go on strike. We are just, the last strike was financially hard on all my members, and I know it was hard on the public. So we don't really want to do that again. It's not going to help us at this point.
Favreau says he expects to hear an official word on potential strike or lockout by midnight or tomorrow morning. We'll have more on the Canada Post situation a little later on in the news hour.
The family of a woman who drowned in a lagoon along the Nipigon River last fall has now filed an official complaint against the Ontario Provincial Police. The body of 34-year-old Vanessa Stacy Geisler was found by OPP divers on October 12th, a day after first responders were called about a person in distress in the water. Her sister Gisela spoke to us in March regarding her concerns about how the investigation was handled.
When I went to Nipigon, the person who was on the case at the time gave us some information, and the information that I got didn't really stand well with me because It didn't seem like they collected the evidence that should have been collected at the time.
Every effort is being made to understand what happened to Vanessa, with the goal to provide resolution her family deserves.
Her sister filed a request with the Law Enforcement Complaints Agency, formerly known as the OIPRD, demanding justice and accountability for what she alleges was gross mishandling of the case by Nipigon OPP. Another person was present when Geisler ended up in the water, and the family claims the investigating officer failed to detain the man for immediate questioning. Police later confirmed that they haven't ruled out foul play. OPP Sergeant Brittany Bembanek provided a statement in response to the complaint.
We sympathize with Vanessa Stacy Geisler's family and friends as they continue to grieve her loss. The OPP remains committed to understanding what happened to Vanessa. The investigation into her death is active and ongoing under the direction of the OPP Criminal Investigation Branch. Death investigations are inherently complex and require time to thoroughly investigate. Detectives continue to maintain open communication with the family, sharing as much information as they can while protecting the integrity of the case. As difficult as it is not always possible to share all the details of the investigation with families, friends, or with the media.
The Law Enforcement Complaints Agency says it's unable to comment on specific cases or complaints due to confidentiality provisions of the Community Safety and Policing Act.
A Thunder Bay police officer is no longer facing a criminal trial. Constable Taylor Auger was charged last year with assault causing bodily harm by the province's Special Investigations Unit. The incident followed the arrest of an intoxicated 33-year-old man in April of 2023. The SIU was brought in as a man was taken to hospital with a serious injury. The charge against Auger was withdrawn on Tuesday. No reasons were provided by the court.
City police continue to crack down on extreme speeders around Thunder Bay. Yesterday morning, the traffic unit conducted enforcement in a 50K zone along Strathcona Avenue and stopped 3 drivers going more than 40 kilometers an hour over the posted speed limit in just over an hour. In a video shared on social media, Constable Tom Armstrong says that qualifies as stunt driving.
It's Constable Tom Armstrong with the Thunder Bay Police Service Traffic Unit. This morning we'll conduct speed enforcement in one location in the 50K zone. In a little over an hour, I stopped 3 separate vehicles, all traveling 40 or more above the speed limit, so into that realm of stunt driving. 2 of the drivers had a very significant conviction history on their driver's license. One of these drivers had 35 previous convictions on their license. The other one had 117.
After a $50 million investment by the Ontario government in last week's budget, the plans for a new all-nations hospital in Kenora have entered the next phase.
Hospital officials hosted a news conference on Zoom today and say they're gearing up to begin the advanced planning process. Justin Hardy has more.
The big project, estimated to cost over $800 million, isn't expected to be complete for nearly a decade, and before officials can break ground, the project will need to go through a roughly 3-year-long advanced planning process. Allison Wesley James, the VP of Operations and Capital Planning, says the $50 million from the province is very close to what they need.
We had identified a budget of closer to $85 million. But that was for the full project, for those consulting fees and other studies for the full project. We've already come a long ways, and I fully expect that during the construction phase, we will receive supplemental monies. But yeah, so I think we're in very good stead to complete this next step.
Wesley James adds that the project team is anticipating being partnered with a team from Infrastructure Ontario to jointly decide on a project delivery model, which will ultimately decide on how long the build will take.
So when it comes to schedule, the final project delivery model that's negotiated between Infrastructure Ontario and ourselves will dictate how long the project will take. So once that delivery model has been settled upon with IO and the Ministry of Health is also involved, then there will be target dates set for each of the project milestones.
The new hospital will be built on a 118-acre lot recently acquired by the Kenora Chiefs Advisory, which is a partner in the All Nations Hospital project. Justin Hardy, TBT News.
Well, this week is National Public Works Week, a chance to celebrate city employees and the facilities that help keep Thunder Bay's infrastructure running. The city is hosting a number of events throughout the week. Earlier today, residents had the chance to tour the facility where our drinking water comes from. The tour at Bear Point on Lakeshore Drive brought attendees around the water treatment plant, allowing them to see how it transforms Lake Superior water into safe, clean drinking water. Residents were able to see all the equipment that's used in the process, including the intakes, membrane filters, and the huge pumps. Process engineer Walter Turek says the week is a good opportunity for the public to learn what happens behind the scenes of essential services like the water treatment plant.
I think a lot of people know that when they turn on their tap, water comes out, but they don't necessarily know where it comes from. So it helps raise awareness about where the water comes from, what the treatment process is, and the amount of dedication that goes into ensuring that the water is safe to drink.
It has to do with public awareness of what public works staff do, and also a celebration of what they do, so an appreciation for the staff and just more information for the public, more opportunities to speak with the city staff.
Tomorrow, there's an open house at the Water Street Fire Station and a Public Works open house on Saturday at the Mount Dale Yard.
Magnus Theatre's Young Company is bringing a new show to the theatre's main stage starting tomorrow evening. The Resistible Rise of Arturo Ui is an iconic political satire by Bertolt Brecht.
No, don't you ever listen on? It's for the little people. Just look at Clark from the Truth. He's got this air about him, like he's all high and mighty. I want some of that.
Originally written as a satirical allegory for Adolf Hitler's rise to power, the play follows the ruthless ascent of a fictional gangster, Arturo Ui, as he seizes power in 1930s-era Chicago. It features a cast of 8 young actors from Magnus Theatre's An Education program, which is for youth aged 12 to 18. Director Jordan Blaxill says the show has been in production since September, and he's encouraging everyone to come check it out.
This is a really interesting piece of theatre. Bertolt Brecht is one of the kind of most influential playwrights of 20th century theatre, and the play that we're doing speaks to a lot of the themes of the world today, and I think people are going to find a lot of connections that they can make.
You got lots of drama, lots of action, people die. It's incredible. The sound effects are out of this world. The production team has done such a good job on sets and props and sound effects. And overall, I'm just really impressed with the amount of effort that is being put into this production.
Performances will be held on Friday and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on the Magnus Theatre stage. Tickets are available online or through the Magnus Theatre box office.
Let's turn our attention to the weather now. And Fiona, it was a pretty gray day out there today, and I did see a couple of raindrops come down this afternoon as well.
Not as much sunshine as we would have liked here in the city of Thunder Bay. We topped out with, all right, we've got some problems here with these graphics. We topped out with a high of 11. Not 16, that shouldn't be there, but we were under mostly cloudy skies, and it was really just not as sunny as we had hoped. Now, if we take a look at the system that was coming through, it was actually already past us, but what's happening is it is rotating in a counterclockwise manner. That's the center of it. And throughout the day, it's been pushing back some rain and some cloud. It's a rather large system, so we're just kind of getting the final edge of it. It's hitting the eastern shores of Lake Superior more than any other location. So if we take a look at what's happening in other parts of the region, we had a very cold night with temperatures dipping below freezing in Fort Frances, but rebounding very nicely into the high teens, 17 at this hour with loads of sunshine. Fort Frances, Kenora, Red Lake. As you head further east, temperatures take a bit of a hit, and then we hit this region that basically had a milder night, but no warm up during the day. We had lows of about 4 Celsius for much of this region, but 9 in Armstrong, 7 in Greenstone, 9 in Marathon. That's about the high for the day, and with a lot of cloud. And that's, again, that system pushing clouds back, and in some areas, such as Sault Ste. Marie, the rain has just started again. They had mostly cloudy skies much of the day, and right now, a shower. And they are currently at 7 Celsius. Now, if we take a look at the City of Thunder Bay tonight, we are going to see a low of 5 under mostly cloudy skies, and some pretty gusty winds, 20 to 40 kilometers an hour from the north throughout much of the night. We had been expecting a really warm weekend, lots of sunshine. The systems are moving a little bit slower than we would like. So we are going to get the warm up, but it may not arrive in time for Saturday. And it's unfortunate news, but I will have the details later on in the news hour.
Okay, thanks a lot, Fiona.